Deep right field. Down the line it goes. Castellanos is out of room. It's out of runner goes. 3-2 pitch hit down the line. Is it fair? It is a fair ball. Into the corner. Off and running. Chu. Yu Chang around third. He's going to score easily. And into second. Hit hard. Hit deep. Up and out. Goes Amed Rosario. And there's a fly ball. Left field. It's deep. It's up. It's gone to the porch. Deep left center field, it is gone to Souvenir City.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Guardians of the CLE podcast. We are on episode number 42. I am your fill-in host, Kevin Sleds. Mel is out. She was traveling with the boys out in KC and went to the game out there last night. So she's having a good time. So James is stuck with me.
It's no problem. Hey, we all can be that utility infielder when we need to be, fill in. And yes, Mel has a great reason not to be with us this week. And Definitely. I hope she's enjoyed her time in KC.
Oh, I'm sure she is.
She's bringing home at least a few W's. That's the good thing.
Yeah, and she got a baseball yesterday too.
I did not hear that. That's awesome.
All right, so the Guardians right now sit at 70-65. They're 2 games up on the Twins and the White Sox. Going back to last week, not much to talk about. First, the final 2 games with the Orioles, they lost, were shut out. And then the 3 games against Seattle, they scored 4 runs in those 5 games for the 5 losses in a row. I know we were talking a little before the show. I think the only highlight of those 2 games in Baltimore against Baltimore was the Stephen Kwan catch, and then the throw to double up the runner.
Yeah, it was a fantastic catch in left field, hitting foul ground. Stephen Kwan goes up, leaps in the air, makes the catch, makes contact with the foul ground wall, throws the ball immediately to his cutoff man, and they double the man off first. Just another terrific highlight from a guy that, going back to April who is Stephen Kwan? Like, what's he going to do?
Right.
You saw him penciled in the lineup, and it's like, what's this guy all about? And just time and time again this year, whether it be at the plate or out in the field, he just has so much passion when he plays, and it's definitely infectious in the clubhouse. And when Josh Naylor got that ball at first, he definitely pointed out to Stephen Kwan out in left field. What an amazing play. So, yeah, keep it up, Stephen. Makes it fun to watch the games for sure from the defensive side.
Definitely, and I'm glad they moved him into that leadoff spot. He's perfect there. And yeah, big time candidate for Rookie of the Year. So fingers crossed. Let's hope he gets it.
Yep, he definitely deserves some good voting. Whether he gets that or not across national media, probably not. But we know he's number 1 here in Northeast Ohio.
Definitely. So we're not going to talk too much about those 5 games. Just for reference, they betted 203, 34 out of 167 in those 5 games. So not a good offensive showing. Only 4 runs in the 5 games. But there was some news coming out of Chicago that I know you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I know they announced that Tony La Russa was having some health issues with his heart. The man's 77 years old, multiple World Series rings, really has nothing to prove. However, throughout this season, the White Sox were, I believe, the favorite to win the division, and just have not got themselves together. And there was a lot of talk whether or not Tony was one of the issues within the clubhouse, being able to communicate and work with the younger players. But I know that looking at the last 10 games, the White Sox are 6-4, which is actually, it's not saying much, but it is the best record in the last 10 games in our division. So I see some slight improvement there, and they're still only 2 games back.
Yep.
I'm definitely not rooting for them, but I could kind of see the mindset maybe changing in their clubhouse a little bit. There's a different voice in there, and like I said, Tony's got that Hall of Fame career. There's no doubt in my mind, but I think the team there in Chicago is looking for that different voice to follow in order to help them. But hopefully, we're going to hold them off in Believe Land.
Let's hope, because for a while there it looked like we only gonna have to worry about the Twins, but now, like you said, the White Sox kind of snuck up and they're tied with the Twins, both two behind us. So it's going to be a crazy race to the end here this month.
Yep, every game's going to count. That's for sure.
All right, so putting those 5 games behind us, we did just take 2 out of 3 from the Royals. Last night was kind of a heartbreaker. Hard to put it on Emmanuel Clase blowing the save the first time since May 9th. But you got to score more than 1 run, and even that 1 run was probably wouldn't have been a run if the infield wasn't drawn in. It was a pop up just outside the infield that probably would have been caught. But a tough game, especially when you're in a playoff race to lose like that. It's kind of heart wrenching.
Yeah, it follows up what we've had going on with that Baltimore series, Seattle series, running into 2 teams that are, playing for wild card spots. They're playing some good baseball. Class A has been nothing but fantastic for us this season. It's one of those where you just kind of want to look at it and just move on to the next game.
Yep.
I go back to a quote from Tony La Russa, or not Tony La Russa, I'm sorry, Tommy Lasorda. And it said, no matter how good you are, you're going to lose 1/3 of your games. No matter how bad you are, you're going to win 1/3 of your games, and it's the other third that make the difference. And I think we're kind of, some of these losses here are just part of the it's part of the schedule. It's going to happen throughout the season of baseball. Unfortunately, it was right there at the end of August, beginning of September, but dog days are behind us. And right now, feels like every game's going to be a playoff game.
Definitely. But one bright spot from that game, rookie Cody Morris made his second start. His first one didn't go as well as he wanted to. He was a little overhyped being his debut. Very understandable. But last night he looked like the pitcher that I expected him to be, and it looked like he took a page out of Shane Bieber watching him the night before. But he had 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, a walk, and 2 strikeouts, and 61 pitches. He was on a 65 pitch limit. They're still building him back up to be a starter coming off the injury. But what'd you think of Mr. Morris last night?
Just another fantastic young player coming out of our terrific minor league system that's going to be able to come in and help support this team. I know it's the end of the year, but you never know. There are just guys that come up at the end of this season that, he may not be looking absolutely fantastic right now, but you just never know. And especially with Terry Francona and how he just plugs guys in, sees the spot and said, you know what, here's the ball, take the ball, get on the mound, here we go. And I got a feeling that Morris might play one of those roles somewhere in the next few weeks.
Yeah, he's a guy that I've been waiting to see. We drafted him in 2019. He's been banged up, had some injury issues over the last few years, but he's finally healthy, and he looked good last night. And of course, the reason he was out there is because Zach Plesac, in his last start in Seattle, after giving up a home run, decided to punch the dirt and break his 5th metacarpal in his throwing hand, which will probably put him out for the rest of the season. Just another boneheaded move out of Plesac. There's been a few in the past.
Well, Kevin, I think that is his 2nd time on the disabled list now, where he's been injured by something other than actually just playing the sport.
Correct.
I mean, I know baseball has some of the most odd injuries ever, but have you ever heard, I've heard of guys charging the mound and getting in fights, but Zach literally charged the mound himself as a pitcher and lost.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I mean, who hits the dirt at the mound?
Right, especially with your pitching hand.
Absolutely. So I really think it's talent level. I mean, you start looking at his ERA over the course of the year. I really think it's just the young man needs to. It's behavioral. It's mindset. It's just getting himself together. I think he really needs a good, solid sports psychologist to help him. And maybe they have. Maybe behind the scenes, he's getting that great coaching or getting some help to try to collect themselves. And the Indians hitters throughout the year haven't did him a lot of favors with run support either.
Right.
But still, that doesn't excuse doing what he did. Even Trevor Bauer thinks that was a dumb injury. So can't be doing that, Zach. Got to stop. Now we have a pattern of behavior here. We need to stop that, Zach.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I'm sure he's probably out for the rest of the season. And just a hunch on my part, I think this is probably the last time we've seen him in a Guardians uniform. I think they'll move him on from him this offseason. I know there were rumors at the deadline that they were looking to possibly move him. So I could see it happening this offseason for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think it would be something where, based on, like I said, we just got done talking about Morris. It's next man up. There are guys down in the minor leagues that haven't made it up yet, which is surprising considering the amount of minor leaguers we have up on the major league roster now in this last season. But yeah, I'm with you on that. If he doesn't see that Guardian jersey again, it won't hurt my feelings.
Yeah, same here. And we're definitely going to need Mr. Morris, because not only has Plesac hit the DL, but so has Aaron Civale as well for the third time this year. Very disappointing. I had big expectations for him this season after getting out to that great start last year and then having the injury set him back. I was hoping for a big year out of him, but now who knows if we'll even see him the rest of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I look at Civale, he just reminds me of a number 5 starter, right? So
yeah,
5-inning guy, number 5 starter. You just hope he, can hand it off to the bullpen with a lead, right? And yeah, unfortunately, for him to get injured again, it's just seems to follow his career a little bit.
Yeah, it does, unfortunately. But speaking of that bullpen, how huge have they been? I mean, you look at the earned run average of some of these guys. Emmanuel Clase, 1.39. James Karinchak, who's been a big surprise the way he's been able to bounce back. He's just over 1. Nick Sandley, 2.21. He had his issues earlier in the season, went down and straightened himself out. Trevor Stephan, 2.53. De Los Santos, 2.62. And then Sam Henches, 2.72. There's some outstanding work from that group.
Yeah, absolutely. They've definitely supported our, whether they get the ball with the lead, or whether or not the starting pitcher, gives them the lead as well. It's just been a great group. They've really found their role this year. And I mean, we knew Clase's role, but how was Karinchak how was he going to fit, right? Was he going to be able to, keep his control, be able to find the strike zone? And he's did a great job. So I know his teammates love him. I've heard the broadcast team talk about, how much those guys draw energy from him. And you can obviously see it on the field. So it's nice to have that guy that can come in to inspire the team, but yet also perform.
Yeah, and he's settled into that 8th inning setup role, which is huge. That's one spot they were looking for, and he's taken it and ran with it. All right, so look, as we mentioned, they're 70-65, 2 games up on the Twins and White Sox. Looking at the schedules the rest of the way, for the Guardians, this weekend is going to be huge. 3 at Minnesota, having the 2-game lead. You hope they can at least take 2 out of 3 there and increase that lead a little bit, because we do have to play them 8 times the rest of the way. So, that's going to tell the division right there.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to fool anybody.
No.
When you face that team that many times, I mean, we got 12 out of the next 15, just with the Twins and the White Sox, with the Angels mixed in there. Yeah, you're going to have to be on your best game. And right now, it is September, but you got to play October baseball now. And, a lot of these young guys haven't experienced that yet, but hopefully that our home crowd can help support that.
Yeah.
Get enough people out there, kind of give them that feel of what October crowds and playoff baseball feels like before that would actually happen. Because, we've fought this long during this season, and I want that AL Central Division title.
Definitely. Yeah. So after we go to Minnesota for 3, like you said, we've got the Angels coming in for 3. Then there's a rain out game at home versus the White Sox before the Twins come in for 5. Then we go to Chicago for 3, Texas for 3, and then back home for the final 9 games, 3 versus Tampa Bay. And then this could be huge, 6 games against Kansas City at home to finish the regular season.
Yeah, I mean, once again, you're starting to play those division teams time and time again. So you're going to have to be on your game. There's just not going to be too many secrets. They're going to know where to pitch you. The defensive linemen are going to be where they need to be. So you're going to just have to play your best baseball, and this is the time of year for it.
Definitely. So looking at the Twins, obviously they have the 3 this weekend at home against Cleveland. Then they they have Kansas City coming in for 3, the 5 games at Cleveland, and 3 more at Kansas City. Then they have the Angels coming in for 3, as well as the White Sox for 3 after that. And then they finish up the regular season with 6 on the road at Detroit and at Chicago. So it's not too tough of a schedule either for the Twins. So I don't know how much help we're going to get outside of Cleveland.
Yeah, there won't be any mercy from anybody as far as the schedule goes. Mike Trout's back playing some good ball for the Angels, so we can't sleep on them, especially with Ohtani still there.
Right.
It's still, a solid lineup that we're going to have to face.
Then we look at the La Russa White Sox. They're currently in Oakland for 4 games, and they come home versus Colorado. They got the makeup game in Cleveland on Thursday. Then they go to Detroit for 3, back to Cleveland for 3, then home versus Detroit, 3 at Minnesota, 3 at San Diego, and then 3 at home versus Minnesota to wrap up the regular season. So their schedule's a little bit tougher than the Twins.
Yeah, I mean, NFL season starts tonight, right? So a lot of these between Minneapolis, Chicago, Cleveland here, we're going to be competing a little bit for on those Sunday games for attendance, and I sure hope our fans turn out, and we, like I said, create that October atmosphere. We're going to need it.
Yeah, it's going to be important. Yeah, especially in those games against the White Sox and the Twins. And it's time for the fans to show up and put their voices behind the team and get them energized, get them charged up.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely.
So, anything else you wanted to touch on?
Not really. What was one of your favorite October moments? Do you have any moments where you were in attendance that you enjoyed going to the playoff game, or a lot of your memories from watching on TV?
Yeah, none in attendance, unfortunately. Watching from TV, and I'll say the same one that everybody else says: the Rajay home run in Game 7. Obviously it didn't turn out the way we wanted to, but that moment was just absolutely incredible. And actually, I had a chance to have a dinner with Rajay Davis last year, so that was pretty cool with the company I worked for before. That was a good time hearing some stories and some good stories from him for sure.
That's outstanding. I like that guy. I know he just was in town and did an interview in the booth with the guys, and I really enjoyed. I mean, you think about what else? Can you think of anything else that he really did while he was here?
No.
I really can't. I know. So I love our city. That's what I love about our city. One guy comes in, has that one memorable moment, and we'll love him for the rest of our lives. And we didn't even get the W that game.
No.
And we still, when he comes back in town, love having him back.
Yeah, he's a Cleveland legend forever.
Yeah, absolutely.
How about you? I know you got to attend a few playoff games.
Yeah, I mean, but I go back to '95, and I think about, I was just talking, a little bit earlier here about winning the division, and remembering in '95 when they raised that banner in the outfield during the regular season that we qualified for our first postseason. I believe it was since '54 when they went to the World Series.
I think it was.
And to see the players out there and just getting to celebrate that, that was an absolutely great memory. And thinking about the loss of Steve Olin and Tim Cruz from the boating accident, and not having them be a part of that team. Steve Olin could have been our closer,
right.
And Jose Mesa might have still been a starter at that point when we had gotten him from Baltimore. But probably one of my just the favorite play would be, I know you said Rajay Davis, but when Kenny Lofton scored from second base in Seattle, I was with all my buddies I grew up with, and we absolutely lost our mind. I mean, you were, as a Cleveland fan, you were gripping at the edge of your seats, like something could go wrong here. But when he did that, when he scored from second, and nobody's seen it coming, and even the guys on the field, that was an absolutely special moment for me. I'm a huge Kenny Lofton fan. I've loved Kenny since his days at U of A as a basketball player, point guard. getting that team to the Final Four. And when I found out he made our roster or was traded from Houston to be a part of Cleveland, I honestly didn't even know if he was a very good baseball player. I just remembered him from basketball. So yeah, that moment for me, that's what started the love for the October baseball for me, for the city of Cleveland.
The look on Randy Johnson's face was priceless.
Never forget it. Never forget that.
Yeah, that was a hell of a team. That was a lot of fun back then. All those comeback wins.
Yeah.
And they could be down 7-1 and you just confident, they're never out of it. They were going to come back. That was a fun year. Unfortunately, it didn't end the way we wanted to, running into that Braves pitching staff, but
right. And that umpire's wide strike zone the entire series.
Exactly.
I won't let that go. I've heard Kenny Lofton talk about that too in interviews. And secretly I have liked the Braves from cable TV days of watching them play on WTBS all the time. So I enjoyed watching some Braves game, but always, Cleveland's been number one in my heart. But yeah, definitely good times.
It's funny about that too. Growing up as a kid, having WGN and Cleveland and watching the Cubs. The Cubs kind of became my second team as a kid.
Yep.
But that all ended in 2016. Like I can't root for them anymore.
Yeah, and I love baseball, and that's the thing. It's in 95, I couldn't be happy for the Braves.
Right.
So, because my team lost. And, I completely understand that.
Definitely. All right. I think we're good for this week. I appreciate you having me on as the host this week. And Mel will be back in her normal position next week.
Well, it was great spending time with you, Kevin, talking Guardians baseball, and really looking forward to this push for the division title.
Definitely. All right. Let's see what they do this weekend. Go Guardians.
All right. Go Guards.
Have a good night. We'll talk to you next week.
All right. Thank you, everybody.